Hello. Hi. Welcome to our weekly live every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I love to come live and answer questions you leave in the comments. So when you leave a question, I'll answer it here. And the more questions you have, the more I'll answer it because I just love helping you understand what Pilates can do for your practice. This is August. It is his preening time, apparently. And this is by Yon. This is our love bugs. So the question I got was how to stabilize your pelvis in Pilates. And I love this question because well, it shows me that you are really understanding your practice and what your maybe like a culprit is and like you being able to connect or not in your practice. So first, let's just talk a little bit about Pilates in general. It's not that your pelvis doesn't ever move. It is that you move from your center. So to move from your center, you do have to have some stable parts so that when your center moves, the rest of your body works with it. So let's just talk about that a little bit. I'm going to have this little boy, not thank you for sitting. You have to go. You have to go. There we go. All right. So when I think about a stable pelvis, I'm thinking more about exercises where you have to balance. So for example, rolling like a ball. If your pelvis is unstable, it looks a little bit like this at the top. We call it kind of like an Elvis pelvis, right? Or open leg rocker. If that pelvis is rocking back and forth, that is an unstable pelvis. If you are doing like a roll up and you arch your back and then flatten it down, you do like a little throwing thing, that's not necessarily part of your pelvis's problem, although stabilizing it can help. So we can talk about that. Where does it all come from though? Before I answer that, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our videos because we have new classes coming out. In fact, we just released a class for beginners. So if you're new, you can check that out. And then we'll have some other classes coming up. Plus, we like to answer your questions like the truth about Pilates. So make sure you check those out. So I like to use a magic circle. If you don't have a magic circle, you can actually use your hands. So I'll show you both ways. So I like to put the magic circle around my knees and get into a rolling like a ball position and push the knees apart. What this does is it activates all the muscles around my hips. So I can't actually let my hips go forward, back, because the muscles around the pelvis are holding it there. Now, when I rock back and I come up, as long as I'm pushing out into the circle, these muscles stay on. The problem is when you don't have the circle, you have to create that connection yourself. And so if you are newer to connecting that and having those muscles turn on, of course it's going to be hard. Of course it's not going to stabilize. So you have to remember this is a practice. And just because an exercise isn't possible for you right now doesn't mean it never will be. And it just means you have to figure out what are the connections I'm missing. So if you are missing, if you come up for your like ball and it pops in and out, grab the magic circle, do a few reps turning that on. You can do the same thing with an open leg rocker and push out onto that and it will turn those muscles on. Then you try to do a few reps without. If you don't have a magic circle though, what do? Take your hands, put them on your knees. Push your knees apart into your hands. Push your hands into your knees. You'll get the same feeling and you can still rock back and up, teaching yourself those exact same things. In other exercises in Pilates, we don't have maybe the magic circle to help us. We still need to know what this area is. I call it the FAS. It's where your thigh meets your booty, but it's all the muscles around your hips. And in Pilates, they actually do a ton of these exercises. One of them is the side leg kick series. That's why I kind of love Pilates. We do a lot of side body work. When you're in your side leg kicks, what you want to look for though is if your hips are stacked or this is unstacked. So my hips are coming towards my ribs. If you can stack your hips and then do the side leg kick series, you are strengthening these muscles. So what's really amazing is if you are doing the mat work the way Joseph Pilates created it, all the connections you're missing, all the imbalances you have will eventually get balanced. You just have to make sure your setups are correct. That can be hard to do when you're new. So make sure you're taking classes with me or someone else who explains those setups and helps you hone that in. It also allows you to be in practice, okay? You should not be with anyone who's looking for perfection because that doesn't exist. And it's a little hard it's hard to achieve every single time because our bodies are different every single time. In other exercises, what we're looking for, there's a lot of talk about neutral spine, neutral pelvis. I don't really get into those conversations very much because everybody's spine is born the way it is. I have a very flexible spine. It took me a really long time to actually have a curve in my lower back, but I have great extension in my upper back because it applies. What I like to feel is like my hip points are here, my pubic bone is here, Are they in the same plane? What spine shape does that make? Okay, that's in that position. So when I round up, it is okay for my pelvis to change. We're given a body that moves, so it should. However, I want the muscles on when I come up, which means nothing can overwork or underwork. So if you are having instability in your pelvis, it tells me there are some muscles that are underworked, some that are overworked. So as you're doing your Pilates practice, really just paying attention to what feels easy to connect to and what doesn't. And the things that don't feel easy to connect to, like if I'm talking about these muscles here and you don't feel them, then that's what we have to emphasize. If that was an easy connection for you, but the inner thigh wasn't, then that's what you have to focus on. So giving yourself permission to practice what is not easy, which nobody wants to do, and then using the strength of what is easy to help you out, because it does come into its space. So stabilizing the pelvis is going to be different for each exercise, but truly it is having all the muscles around your hips and your hamstrings on equally, so it's not just the hip flexors that are freaking out. Once you have all that balance, pretty much any exercise you'll have access to stabilizing your pelvis, but it needs to move with with your body. We're not just like a stable pelvis and then the rest of us moves. It's got to come with you. So that's what makes Pilates so fun, so complicated, and it's something you do in motion. So I hope you join me here at onlinepilatesclasses.com or check out what we have at our website for our members. So questions like this, you can ask them every single day in our membership group, and I can see you do it. So you can show me what was unstable about your pelvis, and I can give you specific answers for your body, which makes it even easier to progress and change your practice. And as we like to say at onlinepilatesclasses.com, do life better. So go to onlinepilatesclasses.com/YouTube to get a trial membership and check out our community, our accountability, and our fun workouts. Have an amazing day.